welcome back to the Finding Your Feet podcast, a podcast show dedicated to helping you get closer to your true authentic self by helping you find your feet in life.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Those clips were taken from today's episode where we are talking all about designing your dream life. So we're going to take you through like a bit of like a strategic episode, really practical, where we're literally giving you like the motivation, the inspiration about why you should grab life by the reins and just create the life you actually want to live. And then how to like actually do that, like from like quite like deep questions to ask yourself, but also like really practical things as well, like manifestation hacks, rewiring your brain hacks, all that kind of stuff.
All the stuff we absolutely love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like a motivational episode to design your dream life. Because if you don't design your dream life, like somebody else will design it for you. And that's not what we want.
Yeah.
Guys, we are so excited to introduce you to our new sponsor of the podcast, who are Natural Cycles. So you may have heard last week we had Alina Berglund on the show, who is the founder of Natural Cycles, and she came to talk to us all about what Natural Cycles is and how she found it. So if you haven't heard that yet, then definitely go check it out. Natural Cycles is the first and only CE-marked hormone-free contraceptive app for women, and it's just so quick and easy to use. So you can use Natural Cycles to prevent pregnancy, to plan pregnancy, and also to track your own pregnancy. So I'm personally using Natural Cycles to prevent pregnancy, and all you do is take your temperature on a thermometer each morning and enter it into the app. The app then monitors your temperature and other fertility indicators and creates a unique algorithm for you. So for example, for me, to avoid pregnancy, I will have green days where I'm safe to have unprotected sex, and also red days where I should use protection. Natural Cycles is the first FDA cleared birth control app in the US and also CE marked in Europe, and is listed in the ARTG in Australia. Because it is a birth control app, it is 100% natural, non-hormonal, and has no side effects. So no contraception is 100% effective, but when used to prevent pregnancy, Natural Cycles is 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. So perfect use would be not having unprotected sex on your red days. So I personally started taking Natural Cycles in January. So it's been around 6, 7, nearly 8 months now. After being on the pill for, I think it was about 8 years. I firstly went on it for my skin and then just stayed on it for years and years. And I always wondered what would be an alternative option. But I personally love Natural Cycles, not only as a form of contraception, but I just love getting to know my body more and understanding the different phases of my cycle. So if you're ready to start your own journey with Natural Cycles, you can use our code Finding Your Feet to get 20% off your annual subscription and a free thermometer. That is Finding Your Feet, and we will leave the link to Natural Cycles in the show notes, and you can simply enter the code Finding Your Feet at checkout. The annual subscription will work out at just under £50 for the year, which is around £4 a month. But that is all for now. Let's get into the episode. Yeah, so I've personally come to the realization lately that I believe you do have to fight for the life that you want. Because if you want to do something in life that maybe the people around you haven't done, or it's different to like your family line or something, you have to literally go against the grain. And it's actually so much harder than people think. Like, you have to, and I don't just mean like in an aggressive way, I just mean like the choices every single day that you make, you have to fight for what the hell you want. Yeah. And I think like things like releasing conditioning and like building new neural pathways on like the way you've grown up and your beliefs and stuff, like it's not the easiest thing, but it's so worth it. But I think it is crucial to remember that you have to go out there and get it. You have to get the tools and stuff. And that's why I think episodes like this are really good, to just like gather the tools and to understand you actually can do it. You can design the life of your dreams. You have to fight.
Yeah. And I think that the difference between someone who gets a life of the dreams and doesn't is the person that realizes that fact. Because I think so many people like look at people who have a dream life and they're like, oh, they just know how to do it, don't they? Like they just know, like, oh, they've got some hack, or like someone helped them, or like, you know, like I couldn't do that. When actually, no, they just fought for it. Like you look at other people and you think they've built it so easily and it's come so easily. You see them as an overnight success or whatever. Like you don't see you because you don't know who they are. You weren't on their radar. You weren't aware of them when they were like getting up every day and like putting in the work to live how they are living now, the way you then admire them, and you think it's just been easy, but it's not. They've fought for it too. And like the only difference I think between two people who someone who gets it, the dream life, and someone who doesn't, is just understanding that bit. Because I think people don't understand that, and then they don't show up every day because it takes time, consistency, work, and they don't stick it out because they just think, no, it's not working, it's taking ages, so it must not be right, it must not be meant for me, I can't do this. When actually, if you go out there and you listen and actually like, ask someone who's living your dream life, or you research them, you read their book, you listen to them on a podcast, whatever, you'll soon realise that they put in the fucking work.
Yes.
Like, and I always like kind of relate it to like what we're doing now, like just as with the podcast, let's say. And, you know, like I always think about Lauren and Michael Bosstick from The Skinny Confidential, and how Lauren started her blog before she did the podcast. They've done like over 500 episodes now. That's so many. But before that, she did a blog, and she spent, how many years was it? Blogging 7 days a week before she made any money. I feel like it was like
2 years, was it?
No, I think it was more than that.
Oh.
It was a long time anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it is to do every single day as well.
It's a lot. And then you would look at her and think, she's a successful podcast. Oh, she's you know, influencer, all these brand collaborations. She's got this product line, amazing. Oh, she just got it. Like, she's just lucky. No, she's not.
No.
Like, but would you have blogged 7 days a week for no money for X amount of years? That's the only difference between you living your dream life and you not. And I'm not saying hustle culture, get up at 3 a.m, and don't you fucking stop. You dare sleep, man, you just are a loser. Like, it's not about that. It's about the consistency, daily, chipping away. And that's manageable. Everybody can do that. But it's just about whether you've got like the patience to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep going, even when like you're getting like, you think you're making no progress. I like reading Ed Milet's book in a minute. Because I'm reading that, I'm probably going to bring it up in every episode. So you all may as well go and get the book as well, The Power of One More, so we can all be on the same vibe together. But in his book, he's literally got a chapter about kind of like how life is when you're like going to say build dream life. It's like you're hitting a piñata. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, so like
so
you're
like
smacking it. Like, so you go up there, we're at a party, you start smacking it. You don't crack it open and you're like, oh, fucking hell, I can't do it. Grace, you give it a go. And then I go and smack it and it doesn't open. And then the next person goes, one hit and it all opens. But it's not that their hit was more powerful. It was because we hit it so many times before they got to it. So it's like same with your life. Like, you'll be hitting the piñata of your life, waiting for the candy to fall out. And it's just not coming out yet. And you think nothing's working, but it's not. It is working. You just can't see it yet. And it's about having that patience to like keep going,
yes.
you know?
Yeah, and I think as well, especially like your personal like limiting beliefs will be challenged so much in that, because it's like, I think as humans we can go so much further than we think we can, and we can work a lot harder than we think we can. So it's like doing the work every day is so important and staying consistent. But then as well, what happens when those limiting beliefs comes up and you think, oh no, I'm not seeing results, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I am the imposter here. And I feel like that's the hard part, where you really have to think, what do I need to let go of? Like, what do I need to embody to actually become the person I want to be? Like, anyone can try and work every day, but I feel like that consistency and the consistency of showing up for yourself in order to become better, so you can get over those barriers. Because so many people must stop when they get to those limits and think, oh no, it's not working. This just like confirms my belief that I am not good enough. So, because it's not working. And it's like, no, it's not right. The people that have got there, they all started from day one as well. They probably all felt unworthy at some point, and now they've achieved what they want, but they still started in the same place. So you've just got to believe that they have put in the work to overcome those limiting beliefs and the actual consistency every single day. And it's like, are you going to do it? Like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah, exactly.
How bad do you want to feel free and happy every single day?
Yeah. And I always think, so I saw like a quote as well on Instagram the other day, and it was like, living your life like uncomfortably for a few years so you can live comfortably forever. And it's like, you know, when you like, you know, maybe like deciding, do you know what, like I want to create my dream life, and that means that I've got to I don't know, like save loads of money, or leave your job, and I don't know how do you...
You're like moving with your parents, or
yeah,
like take less money and save.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you feel like you're taking a little step back. Maybe your peers are all like doing other things, and you're like, you got to take yourself out of like... Me and you spoke about this like ages ago. Do you remember? Like, this was probably like a year ago around this conversation, or longer. And I was like, it's like this circle like that you can just be in, and it's fine. And I don't mean like a circle of friendship, but as in like just a circle of life. Like, you work, and I'm not saying that this is bad, but it's just about what you want. So like we wanted different things than that. So like there's this circle where you just earn your money, you go out, you spend your money, and you just kind of exist.
Yeah.
Or you can be more intentional about what you're doing. And I'm not saying that the only way to do that is to like have your own thing or have your own business or whatever, but it entirely depends what your life is. But you can so easily, like, life can just be chosen for you if you don't choose the life that you want, because the world needs you to work, it needs you to show up, it needs you to contribute to society, it needs you to, you know, maybe make your own like family or anything like that. Like there's all these kind of like basic human simple things that we all do. You can't get away your whole life not working and contributing to society. We live in a capitalist world. Do you know what I mean? Like you have, so whether you choose to do a work you care about or you find interesting or like fulfilling on any kind of level, or you just get a random job because, and that might make you happy because you might fulfill yourself outside of that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But as in, because you have to exist, you can so easily exist on the sort of like, do you know what I mean? Like structures and systems of what the world sets out. You can just fall into that, or you can choose, and that's what this episode's all about, is like choosing what do you want and then feeling empowered enough to create that.
Because what you want could be absolutely anything in the world. Like I feel like me and you are quite like ambitious and like we have big career goals as well. Somebody listening, their goal might literally be to work a job they enjoy and just get home from work and relax and just enjoy their day of life. But if you're still not taking control of your life, you might end up in jobs that you don't like. You might be working hours that you don't like because you're trying to people please, and you're not living that life that's true to you because you want a peaceful life. You want to just go home and enjoy it with your family, and then you're not doing that because you're not designing the life that you want. So it's like everyone's little blueprint for life, what they want is completely different. I suppose the first thing is really knowing what the hell you want. And that does come as well from, I always believe that the only way you know what you want is by doing things that you actually realize you don't want. So I think you do have to just basically do life to understand what you want. I don't think it just drops in like, this is your dream life. I think you just have to take it day by day.
Yeah, definitely trying different things. I think a lot of the time people are really scared to try things because they're just like, oh, what if I waste years of my life trying things, or what if I, or whatever, like they're just scared. But yeah, it's so true. The only way that you're going to know is by trying things, testing it. And also you'll try things, you'll like it, and you'll like it for a few years and then you won't, and then you've got to swap. Like it's also about like understanding that like your sort of idea of a dream life isn't necessarily one way, like it's fluid and it'll adjust as you grow and adjust through life. Like your priorities and your values change all the time as you get older and grow. It just is what life, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that when you're going out there and you're creating your dream life, and especially if it looks different to what people around you are doing, you will be hit with so much resistance. And this is totally normal because as humans, and we always say this on the podcast, we are not wired to like basically get out of our comfort zones. We are wired for safety and survival. So your body biologically is trying to keep you safe. So those moments every single day where you're asking yourself, what kind of life do I want? Where do I want to push myself? What do I want to do? Your body is almost acting against you. So don't think that you're some kind of weirdo because you come up with loads of resistance and fear when it actually comes to embodying this dream life that you want, because that is totally normal. But I think just the awareness of that is really important, because if you have the awareness that I'm not like, there's not something wrong with me, like even things like procrastination and stuff, you're not necessarily just lazy. It's that your body is literally wired. It's trying to keep you in your comfort zone because it wants to just keep you safe. It just wants you to survive. So like this whole going after your life is absolutely amazing. But like in terms of like human evolution, it's quite a new thing. We've just been trying to survive for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. Like you always hear as well people talking about how like even, you know, like generations not that long before us like had life so much harder. Like there's a lot of like research out there that's and also it's just history as well, that I think, to quote Andrew Huberman again, I think we need to just bring him in as a third co-host because just bring him up every week. I'm pretty sure it was him anyway, but or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a Skinny Confidential. Basically, they were saying that like life, the way that we experience life now is so much better than even like what our parents experienced.
Was it not Michael that was saying it?
I don't know.
I feel like he talks about that quite a lot.
Yeah. Or I might have even heard it on Modern Wisdom the other day. So, do you know what? I don't know. Because
You'll
I
blend
listen
into
to
one.
podcasts, I don't know. But basically, the like, even like the generation above us, like our parents, whatever, the way the world was, like when they were our age or whatever, was actually way more difficult than us. Like our grandparents, it was way more difficult for them than it is for us now. But basically, the way that we, because there is this narrative like that the world's fucked and like it's so hard to exist.
Oh, what's going on in the world?
Yeah, the world's ending, like everything's fucked up, like it's so hard to exist here, blah blah blah. And it's because the world's actually way easier for us to exist in than back then, not even that long ago. So basically, like, your expectations of how easy the world should be just raise up as the world actually does get easier, if that makes sense. So like how we are experiencing life now, what we as a society might complain about and find difficult, if we were like put back a generation, we would be laughing at how life is now, basically. And that's like historically factually proven as well, because you actually go back and look, like it was more difficult then than it is now. But basically it was something about this psychological thing where basically like your expectations of how easy it should be actually get higher. So you've got more things have to be, it has to be even easier to like reach them. It gets higher the easier life actually is. So it just moves up.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, that's a pickle, isn't it?
yeah. So like we can have this narrative of like, oh, it's so hard to exist in this world, so hard to create your dream life, da 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 da. But actually, like it's like this psychological sort of paradox in a way as well.
That's crazy. I suppose as well, it's like comes from, maybe it's because we're exposed to so much now. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that in my head.
I'm thinking maybe it's the news, social media, because we see all this stuff that they wouldn't have known about because like they didn't have even social media, like. Yeah. It's a new thing.
But I mean, as well, in the sense of like, you feel like, so there's like this weird paradox where you feel like it should be easier, even though it is easier, but maybe it's because we see so many different walks of life and you're like, oh, like as in you got your eyes open to so much, whereas like generations ago you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You would just be like staying in your lane and you just like,
know what's
surviving.
going on in your town. Like,
yeah. Whereas now we're like, it's so vast.
You know worldwide what's happening, yeah.
Yeah. But that is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't actually hear him explain the Junkie Spin.
I think it was because it was on Modern Wisdom.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, because I did hear Michael.
I don't even think it was Andrew Huberman, you know. I think I just want to give him credit for everything.
I did hear Michael Bostic off the Skinny Confidential. He was saying that when he...
about that kind of vibe a lot, yeah.
Yeah, when he feels like life gets a bit loud and all that stuff, maybe like politics and stuff, he'll like get an old book and read it. Yeah. That's such a good tip because... It is, but it's so true that like we are a product of our environment. Like whatever you consume is your reality. So like if you avoid the news and you kind of stay in your bubble, then you may feel like the world's okay. Or say if you start consuming loads of the news, you start to feel like the world is this scary place. But then if you were transported back like 200 years ago or something to some crazy time, I don't know what they used to do then, you'd be absolutely mind blown, wouldn't you? You'd be like, how am I stressed about this?
Take me to 2022 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
You know what my life dream is?
What?
To have Lauren and Michael Bostic's garden.
Oh yeah.
It's a fucking vibe. I can't even believe it's like a freaking spa.
Yeah, it's like a wellness retreat.
Literally.
Yeah, but they designed their house.
Yeah.
To be.
But just how amazing is
like
that?
A healing, wellness, relaxing place.
Yeah. But see that maybe that's why we have such high expectations, because you get exposed to all this stuff.
Yeah, maybe. So I think one of the biggest things that like stands in people's way of like actually going for it and designing and creating their dream life is because they think about it and they're like, oh, that'd be so nice. And then they just get filled with fear because it requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Because if you want something new, if you want something to change, you have to change. You have to do something new. And so like you've got to step out of your comfort zone, and it's a challenge to do it. So fear comes up, and I think people assume that if you're scared of something, then you shouldn't do it. Or like if the fear's there, then I'm going to wait till the fear goes. Or if the fear's there, it just is a sign that I'm not meant to do it or I'm not good enough. And it's not the case. Like that's a complete illusion, because fear is never going to go away. never going to go away. Like at every step you'll like do the one thing, you land like the job you wanted, or you set up the business, then you land like the first client, you make the first sale, you do the first sellout launch or anything, and then you realize, oh, I did it, and then you go to the next level and the fear is still there because you're stepping up again. It never ends. So the fear is never going to go away. And I think that's what people always think, oh, I'm so scared, it must not be right, I'm just not going to do it. But it's like, you waiting for the fear is waiting to die. Like it's never going to go away. So it's about learning to just understand that and not let the fear deter you, but instead make it your friend, like hold its hand and walk into the situation, walk outside of your comfort zone and take it with you, because it's not going anywhere.
No, it's true. I mean, it just reminds me of the title, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah,
like it's just, it is so true.
Yeah, I read that book last summer, and I reckon it's like it's sunk its way deep into my subconscious, and that's where I got that message from, that idea from.
No, I think
it's a great book. It's the reason why it's so famous.
Exactly. And I think the more as well, it's nice, the more fear you feel, like that resistance, that like getting out of your comfort zone, like maybe that's a sign that that's the thing you need to do. Because
I think the things we want the most, we resist the most.
Yeah.
Scare us the most.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like in those moments, say, I don't know, you're still on a stage or you go into an interview or something, those moments where you're scared because you know it's going to be beneficial, like that's where the growth is. If you avoid all those little moments, then you're not going to grow. If you just stay in your comfort zone and think, oh no, I'm safe here, it's fine, I don't want to feel embarrassed, I don't want to feel like scared or nervous, like you're not going to grow there. You need to push out your comfort zone. But I think, having that analogy as well is like holding the fear's hand. So it's like, you can come with me, you're not going to totally take me off my path, you can just come with me, you can just sit there and be quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Owen said as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine that you're here, because as well, that goes back to like the biology of our bodies. Like when you're scared and like, I don't know, your heart might start racing and you're like, oh my God, what am I even going to say in this situation? And it's like, just acknowledge that it's there. Just say, thank you, I can see you're here. You're just trying to keep me safe. You're warning me that this is a little bit scary, but I actually don't need you right now. So you can just calm down.
You can get yourself a drink, pull up a chair and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because like you're in the driver's seat, not the fear.
Yeah. So now we're going to go on to like practical steps on like, okay, you motivated me, I get it, the fear's not going to go away, okay, let's do it. How the fuck do I actually do it? So I think like one of the first things is to obviously get clear on what you want, but like get clear on what your values are, because they kind of like feed into your dream life. Like I think your values, they do sort of shift and change, definitely, but they kind of as well stay the same in a way that you might just adapt them a bit. Like, so say like a core value for you is like fun, like it's probably not going to change throughout your life. You're still going to want to have a life of fun, and that doesn't mean that you don't work because you don't find work fun. That could mean you only do jobs that you're passionate about, and it could mean that you really prioritize your social life, and maybe if you have a family, like you really prioritize like playing with your kids and stuff, like just this element of fun, and you just make time for joy in the day. You just allow yourself to have a little bit of fun and just laugh and just be joyful in the day. So I think you've got to know what your values are. Say your values is freedom, then maybe you don't want to work for someone else. Maybe you want to have your own business so you can have that feeling of freedom. Like, what are your values? And then from there, like your dream life will manifest into those. Like, because then however that is, it's a feeling, it's a value, it's like that you're trying to make, but you need to know what they are.
Yeah, no, totally. And then like once you know what they are, like you said, you have to just take the aligned action and work in line with those values. Mm-hmm. Do you know when people say like, don't be all talk and no?
Oh yeah, everyone hates people like that. Yeah, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
All talk.
What is it?
All talk, no walk, no game. I don't know.
Yeah. Can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Don't talk the talk if you're not going to walk the walk.
Yeah.
Like you could write down all your values, all your goals, everything, but I think the next part of it is that you have to embody that person. And it's not that you have to be like, just wake up one day and be like, I'm this highest person, this in the world or whatever, like looking like a crazy person. But I mean in those decisions every single day, like is this behavior, what I'm doing, going to align with the person that I want to become? So obviously we all know with like manifesting as well, like you have to act in accordance to the person you want to become. Like it just doesn't match. And I think it's just impossible to act in a certain way. Maybe you're like self-destructive, or you're like just not loving yourself, just basically just not aligning with the person that you want to become. And then you're not just going to suddenly turn into this person, because there's like there's like a mismatch of energy. You're not even on the same frequency. So I think the embodiment of your values comes in the decisions that you make every single day, like the little decisions.
Yeah, and I think another like massive thing that you've got to do as well in terms of like embodying it and becoming that person is actually like changing your identity in terms of like actually believing that it's possible for you. Like it's possible for you to even create your dream life, and that you're worthy of it, and like you're allowed it. Like I think a lot of people don't even allow themselves to like dream about it and think about it. They like shut themselves down straight away and like, no, like can't do that, like that's never going to happen, like it's pointless thoughts to entertain. It's like, no, it's not. Like the thoughts you entertain repeatedly become your reality. So you know, why not focus on what you want and start to change your belief systems to believe like it's possible and you are worthy of it, like you deserve it. Like that's a huge thing that you've got to actually adjust to as well when you're doing this.
Yeah. You just reminded me of this analogy that I heard the other day, of like, because you're saying there, like, you have to believe that you're going to become this person. You have to build those new neural pathways. But this person was explaining it that, like, imagine the top of a mountain that's, like, covered in snow. And your beliefs about, like, what you can achieve and everything are, like, in the snow, like, as in where the sledge has gone down. So, like, over time, say for 20 years, you've told yourself that you're not good enough or that you can't achieve something. That, like, where the sledge has been, it is going to be really deep. But you can, like, basically forming a new belief and doing things that we're going to get onto, like affirmations and stuff, and building that new neural pathway, you can layer down, like, new layers of snow, basically. So it's not going to be as deep. And you can say, no, I am worthy. And you're building that new belief and you're taking the decisions every single day. And you're going to form, like, a new little, what would be the word?
Blanket of snow.
Well, not the blanket of snow, I mean the new belief. So the new belief is like the sledge thing.
I don't know.
I don't really know what you call it.
Wait, so it's
so it's a mountain covered in snow, and you've got all your beliefs of the little sledge lines.
Okay, yeah.
Because you've believed it so many times, so every time you're repeating it.
Right, yeah, I get you.
The neural pathway is getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not impossible, like snow is not rock, it's not cement, we can change it. So you can think of new beliefs, you can have new affirmations, and that's going to lay more snow on. So those ones will get, like, so it's like...
Oh, so like you would think new thoughts that would create new sledge lines.
Yeah, new sledge lines,
and just repeat them all the time, and then eventually when the snow falls, you're always going down them, so they'll stay deep, but the other ones will just fill up with snow and pop themselves because they don't get sledded on anymore because no one likes them.
And like when the sledge is going down, if something's going deeper, then it's more likely to go down that one. So if you keep repeating this new belief, keep embodying this person that you want to become, keep telling yourself, actually, I am the kind of person that can achieve this, then the 4 is more likely going to go down that neural pathway rather than the old patterns, because the old patterns are going to get more snow on top.
And the deeper it is, the easier it is for it to be an automatic, like, deep believed thought. So I love that. What a beautiful analogy.
I keep imagining it lately.
Because I think, like, thinking about rewiring your neural pathways, rewiring your subconscious mind to, like, believe that these things are possible for you and that you're worthy and deserving of it and that you love yourself, you're proud of yourself, all these kind of things, like, it can be really difficult. And sometimes it can just feel like it's actually not even possible, but it really is possible. But it's just about, like, consistency, keep showing up for it, keep doing it. And also I think, like, it's not just about, like, chanting affirmation, it's about doing the fucking work as well. Like, because I personally find that the biggest way for me to change my neural pathways in my brain is, like, by taking action, like doing the things I'm scared of and seeing that actually I did it. And I'm like, how the fuck can I believe, you know, this thought when actually, like, I took an action and I took it successfully that completely counteracts that. So that doesn't make any sense. You know, like,
because that's evidence there.
Yeah, like I used to have this, like, and you'll remember it because when we were at college together, back in the day at fashion college, and I was like, and we're doing a design course, which is obviously really creative, and I can't draw. I'm creative, but I cannot draw. But you can be creative in other ways, and you're allowed to be creative in other ways than drawing on that course. You can do whatever you want. But I would always have this repetitive belief that, like, I wasn't, like, creative enough, like, I couldn't do it, and, like, the work I'd make would be shit, so just don't even try. So then I wouldn't do my work, and then I get in trouble for not doing my work. And that was why, because I had that belief. And then, like, I think even when we started this podcast, I was like, oh yeah, mate, you just take the reins on the Instagram because I don't have a fucking clue. And it's like, well, no.
But no, you're actually, like, sick.
Yeah, and I was like, that's not true. Yeah, exactly. And then eventually, I was like, oh no, I'll make some posts. I'll do this. And then eventually, like, and now, you know, our other thing we do together is all about creativity and, like, and it's like, but for so long I had that belief that was so deep in my mind that I didn't have the creative skills to produce good work like that. But how I got over it was actually by taking the action against it. So, like, doing a little thing, and then proving to myself, well, that's not true. That's not true. And then when I get presented now with, like, an opportunity or something that I think, well, that's a bit of a challenge, whatever, I'm like, it's cool, because you'll sit down and you'll do the work and you'll challenge your creativity. That's how you get more creative. That's how you improve as well, is by, like, trying things that you think, oh God, can I actually do that? That's how you get better. That's how you level up, because then you're like, oh, I did it. Like, you have to make yourself do it, otherwise your brain will always tell you can't do it. But I personally, like, my neural pathways rewire the best by taking the action and getting a new memory of, like, oh, but it worked. I did do it. So that thought makes no sense. Repeat the action until eventually I'm like, well, that belief's, like, blown out of the water now, because it makes no sense with, like, the logic of my memories now and the past and, like, the history of what I've experienced. So for me, like, that's a really powerful way. Like, I think affirmations is great, but I love as well to take the action and build up my case studies.
I feel like affirmations as well, like, push you to maybe take the action. And the action is where, like, you actually get the evidence of that, like, confidence is built on case studies, as we used to say. Like, that's true. So now you're clear on the fact that you do need to embody and take the action. Like, that is the most crucial part of the whole thing, really, of designing your own life. But we're also going to give you some really practical tips that can motivate you to take the action. So, like, one of my favorite things is vision boards, and then also writing a goal list. So it totally depends, like, what you prefer. If you're quite visual, then, like, go for a vision board. I absolutely love a vision board. So this year I actually wrote in black and white what my goals were for this year, and I just stuck it on my wall. It looks so unaesthetic. It's untrue. It's literally wrote on, like, some lined paper and then with some sellotape just stuck on the wall. But my thing is that it's not to, like, overwhelm me, because some of the goals are quite big, but it's just that, like, when I have it on my wall, and I think it's the same with a vision board, every time I look at it, I just think, have I done something little today, even to move me closer to that goal? Or I might have done something big that day. But even if it's just something little, and that could be literally anything, because I mean, I wrote 12 goals for 12 months anyway. But it's like, have I pushed myself that little bit further? Like, what can I have done today? And it doesn't matter if it's like an hour or 5 minutes, but it's like, it's just like accountability, like, right in front of you. Like, have I done anything to push me towards that life? Because the only reason you push yourself is because you want to get there. You're not just doing it to, like, torture yourself.
Yeah, I love a little vision board. I'm actually going to remake one this weekend.
Yeah, I am as well.
We're both having, like, a
we should have done, like, a workshop.
Yeah, I know. Like a life reflection, you know, like, reset, like, inspired weekend. But, like, I made mine in November last year. And I still really like it, but I've actually, like, manifested some of the stuff on it. And I just want to, like, there's still probably things on it that I will keep on there that I love, because I've got, like, quotes on there that I love. There's a quote on there that's just the pinnacle of this episode, which is, like, so good. I stare at it every day and I can't even remember what it is. I can visually see it now and think it's basically something along the lines of, I know what life I want and I won't stop until I get it, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and that's what designing your dream life is all about. Getting clear on what you want and just don't fucking stop. Like, keep going until it happens. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to make a new vision board this weekend. So I'll keep, like, things like that on it that I love. But, like, some things, like, I've already manifested, like, driving, getting a car. That was, like, a goal for the year.
Yeah.
Like, overcame my fear of being scared of driving. And now when I drive, I'm like, oh, this is fine. What was I so scared of? you know, like, so that's something that like I've manifested, it's come true. I want to like tick that off. And there's just other things on there. There's podcast guests that we've had on like that were on the board that they'd probably be like, what the fuck, I was on a picture on your board in your room, are you crazy? No, but like that, you know, like dream guests. So it's like something that's come true. So I just want to like give it a little refresh, carry some of it over, and just reset and like get re-inspired. And because I am inspired right now, but I want to like, I just think it's so good to set yourself goals. It's so important to have like a direction of where you want to go, because when you understand as well that like you are the full creator of your life and you can go wherever you want to go. It might take you 10 years, it might take you 20 years, it might take you 2 months, it doesn't matter, everyone's journey is different. Like, but you, as long as you know where you're going and you just keep going and keep moving forward, they're like, you'll get there, like that, you just will. Or even if you know, like that quote, like shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. Like, even if you don't get to the thing, you'll land pretty much near it, and that might be enough for you. You might be happy there, you might find that you actually like it there, and just be cool to. So the most important thing is that you just got an aim and you you moving towards it, and it's what you truly want. So, you know, vision boards are like perfect for that, because they're inspiring you to have that focus. And then, you know, they get you excited because, you know, you're like thinking, oh, this could be me, this is me, this is my board, this is my life. You're creating your vision, you're getting excited. You need to be excited about your goals. You need to want to do them. Like, there's that guy as well that I've heard, I can't remember what he's called, like Raz or something. He's like that money expert guy, and he was on the Skinny Confidential.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a book, and I can't remember, but he's like a financial expert basically. But he was saying like about money saving goals. He's like, well, what are you saving for? Like, as in, you need to know why. Otherwise, why the fuck are you going to want to do it? Like, are you saving for a trip to Italy? Like, are you saving for a house? Are you saving to retire early? Like, what are you doing? What is it? Like, are you saving to take, you know, like your mum to a country concert in America, dance around in a cowboy hat and boots? Yes, that's my dream.
So
I think I might actually put that on my vision board this weekend, because I've been wanting to go on a trip with my mum to America, because obviously like she's from there. Go back there, and I want to go, and because I love country music, I want to see one of my favorite country music. I've got the vision, I can see it, I can literally see it. Like, I'm going to wear a cowboy hat because I want to. I'm going to wear denim shorts. Maybe I'll wear boots, maybe I won't.
Say,
I want to be kicking my feet around and flicking up dust and drinking beer, even though I don't like beer, and dancing at the front to one of my favourite country singers, and I don't mind who they are because I've got like quite a few. But like, that is something that I've wanted to do for years, and I'm like, I want to make that happen. So like, I'm going to put that on my board, and then I'm going to remember that I want to do that, and it's going to excite me, and then I'm going to look as well for opportunities for how to make that happen. Because like with your brain, we've got that thing like the reticular activating system. So when you decide you want to buy a Mini, all you see on the roads is Minis. Like, whereas before, when you weren't interested in buying a Mini, you weren't thinking about it, you didn't notice them ever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, because your brain starts to filter out what's irrelevant to that goal and what is relevant, and brings all that to the front of your focus, and you start to spot opportunities. And it's the same with your goals. If you have a vision board, you've got it up there, it's inspiring you, it's getting you motivated, it's reminding you of your goals. You're literally getting your brain to do half the work for you, because it's working in the background to filter out information that's like, oh, this is actually important to Grace, this country concert thing. So when I'm scrolling on Instagram, and I see an advert for a country concert in Nashville next year, then I'm like, oh, that's it, I need to go to that. You know, like, whereas if you're not focused on that being your goal, you will flick past that and your brain will not register it as important.
Yeah.
So that's how you manifest as well, is by tuning your brain into what you want, getting your subconscious to do the work for you. Like, I love to ask myself questions, like, you know, we were talking before about like what you were going to change your TikTok username to be, and we were like throwing out like stupid usernames, but all you really need to do, which is what we were saying, like, is write down what you want your TikTok to be about, like what you want your things to be, and then let your brain do the work for you. And then you'll get a name when you're falling asleep, you'll get a name when you're in the shower, like, you know.
Yeah, I fully believe that. I think I always do that as well with manifesting, where I like remind myself that I want to do something, or something that's important to me, and then the things will come to you. Not saying don't take any action, obviously, but I think when you've got it in your mind, like, this is really important to me, this is what I'm going to manifest, things do start to come together like that, and things will drop in for you. So yeah, I love that tip. One of my other favorite things is journaling, because that's like exactly what we've just been talking about. Basically, it's like, if you want to journal on your goals, that's reminding yourself every single day of where you're heading. And I think, like, I personally love journaling in the morning, because I feel like sometimes in the morning, like, you kind of have to put yourself like on the vibe that you want to be on. You know, sometimes you can, if you just wake up and just go about your day, it can go anyway. That's how I personally feel anyway. But I think if you wake up and maybe you're feeling a bit funky, or I don't know, there's something you don't want to do that day, if you're reminding yourself every morning, like, this is where I'm heading, or you remind yourself, this is what I'm grateful for today. Like, we always say gratitude is the best thing to like bring things into your life. Like, you're just like, I just feel like it's like a shower on your energy. That's how I feel when you journal, because you can get so fogged up, but then you write onto paper, you think, this is what's important to me. You write out what is annoying you, or what you don't want in your mind, and then write out what you're grateful for. And I think it just aligns you, like, where the hell am I heading? So if you don't know where you're heading and you don't remind yourself through like vision boards, affirmations, journaling, then like you do sometimes wake up and think, why are we here again?
Yeah. What's the point of all this? Like, I find life really depressing. No, I don't. I mean, I find it not as fun when I don't have a goal.
Yeah.
Not like I'm like, I can't be happy with just life as is, but I am a dreamer. Like, I love vision boards. I love letting myself dream about my dream life and thinking about things and entertaining these ideas. Like, I love doing that. So when I don't do that, I actually feel kind of down. Like, when I don't tap into those kind of thoughts and stuff. So for me, like, having a vision board, having a plan, like even a loose plan, just like an inspired plan, even like, you know, just of like little things, like I just said, like that I would want to go to America, like, and go on that trip and go to a country concert and kick my feet in the dust and dance and drink beer. You know, I don't like beer. Like, you know, that is such like a small specific thing, but that makes me excited for life too. Like, that actually gives you dopamine to dream and serotonin 100%. To dream. So like, if you don't do that, then, you know, like, well, why would you feel inspired and excited?
Yeah.
Like, obviously you can be appreciative of what you have around you now, practicing gratitude, that brings the dopamine and that. But, you know, I really like to look into the future as well and like make plans. And I just think life's a game as well. Like, this place is fun. Like, come here and play. Like, what do you want to make? Like, take a risk, try it. Why not? You're gonna die one day.
Yeah.
YOLO. No, I'm joking. But like, you know, like, it is like, you've been blessed with this life, make the most of it, do what you want to do. When you're going after your dream life, you're creating the life that you truly want, some of the biggest things that you can come up against is self-belief, and just believing that it's possible, that it's worthy. You can be struggling with self-sabotage, and all these things tend to relate to past experiences that made us believe that we are not worthy of receiving success, love, happiness, anything. So some of the best ways to actually solve this is by talking with a therapist. And that is why we are so excited to introduce you to our podcast partner, BetterHelp, who are a professional, secure online counselling service. And their mission is to help you live a happier life today by removing all the barriers that stand in front of you of accessing therapy. So when you sign up with them for an account, you fill out a questionnaire about what you want to work on, what your needs, and they will match you up with the perfect therapist for you, who is catered and qualified and specializes in whatever it is that you want to talk about, and they will match you up with them in less than 48 hours of sign up for the account. So you don't need to wait a really long time to see somebody, and it's all done online. So wherever you are in the world, as long as you've got an internet connection, you can so easily access BetterHelp's secure private service online and start to chat to your therapist in whatever format you prefer. Skype, video calls, or phone calls, just audio calls, or even just text messages and emails in the chat box.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like therapy is really powerful for things like this. Like, a lot of people think that therapy is just for when you're feeling low, but it can be so powerful for things like this. That's why we're really proud that our podcast, where we bang on about going after your dream life, is sponsored by the amazing BetterHelp. So if you do want to start your own journey with BetterHelp, we have got a discount code for you. So to get 10% off your first month of therapy, you can head to betterhelp.com/findingyourfeet. That is betterhelp.com/findingyourfeet, and the discount will automatically be applied. And what I like about that as well is, like, what I like about you saying about dreaming is that it's like so childlike, like, you know, that really innocent childlike energy that we lose when we become adults. We become so serious. Yeah, but it's like children just dream all the time. They daydream. They dream about, like, what the hell, I want to be an astronaut, you know, like, and no one tells them otherwise, because it's like so special to do that anyway. But then we get adults and we forget that. So I think to dream is like beautiful. I think everyone should keep dreaming.
Yeah. So like don't like gaslight yourself out of being allowed to dream by like telling yourself it's stupid, but also like protect your dreams from other people. Like if you're around people that aren't supportive of you talking about your dreams and talking about big things and whatever, and they just shut you down all the time, don't talk about it with them. Like just talk about it with yourself. Like you can get excited and motivated and inspired entirely by yourself, by like sitting there writing down what you want, you know, really allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission to think it's possible, making vision boards, doing all these things, practicing visualization, journaling about it, all this stuff. Like you can do that on your own. But I think if you're surrounded by people that are like naysayers, cynical, no, pessimistic, you know, I hate people like that. No, I don't.
Realistic.
I don't surround myself with people like that. Like fuck that shit. Like honestly, like, and the biggest thing as well that I've realized growing up, because I'm so old now. I'm joking. Like I'm 26 now, and like what I've realised in my many years of life. I'm joking.
Did we say happy birthday to you on the podcast? Did we even say?
No, I don't think you did. How rude.
Were we off then? We didn't.
Yeah, we were off. My birthday's on the 14th of July, and we came back.
We never even.
No, we did talk about it was my birthday in the catch-up episode.
Oh, did we? So I don't remember.
Well, you can say happy
birthday, Grace.
Thank you.
No, because I just thought, you're 26, and I thought we didn't even speak about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Happy birthday to me. Thanks.
What was
everybody.
your one biggest lesson of your 25th year? Put you on the spot there.
What do you think it is? I'm just curious.
I don't know. You're asking me to walk into your brain.
Come into my brain.
I don't know. We talk about so many different things.
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson of my 25th year was to like listen to your gut. Don't question your own values and who you are. Don't ignore like when people show you who are, like believe them the very, very first time. And I don't think I can say that. I was going to say that there's a lot of like toxic manipulative people out there, so watch out. But that's quite cynical, isn't it?
Sounds like you had a great year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest lesson for 25. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy it. No. Did I not enjoy it? Wait. Yeah. No, I didn't really. I did. I'm grateful for the lessons, but it actually was a bit of a sucky year. Not because I was 25 or anything particular about hitting that age, just circumstantial, you know. I'm really enjoying 26. 26 is going to be fun. Good year, because I'm claiming it. It's a good year, you know.
Yeah.
I'm protecting myself from who? I'm surrounding myself with no toxic people around me. No one getting in the way of my goals. I'm focused. I'm grinding. I'm working on me. If you want to come along for the party, then you can. If you don't want to, then get fucked. No one is distracting me this year from where I'm going. That's the vibe of year 26.
Yeah, that's my vibe too.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get there and I'm going to be like, sweet. And I'm going to breathe a bit more. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to do some of the other things I've been dreaming about that I can't do until I get to this certain point. It's not because I'm not letting myself until I get to that certain point. You need the means, you need funds, you need money to enjoy certain things. Like, so I'm going to keep working and I'm going to get there. And then I'm like, yes. And then I'll have another goal and it just never stops. But like, as in, yeah, 26 is going to be a good year.
Yeah, I'm loving this energy.
Yeah, because I'm just like, the hell? Like, if you don't, what are you going to do? I don't want to not enjoy my life.
Yeah, we're all here to basically just be happy and enjoy life.
And I'd rather sacrifice things in these initial years. I'd rather... make sacrifices and take risks and maybe do things that maybe people wouldn't want to do and have patience and have resistance, resilience, tenacity, and just keep going, keep smacking the piñata even if it's not opening, because I know that we will one day, because hard work is irreversible. And you know, like even if you like working hard for something and it's not actually working, it can actually be that, you know, that thing isn't for you and it pivots you onto the next thing that is for you. You know, you never know how what you're grafting into now when you're not really feel like you're getting much out of it is actually feeding into your next huge project that just makes you win. I think so many people look at people as well and think, oh, like you've got this, like, and it's a success, when actually they had 5 failures before that, or tried 5 things before that, and it's anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I'm just rambling on, just kind of motivational tangents.
Yeah, we went on a little bit of a ramble there, but it was all very good motivational ramble. Like, that energy is what I'm also thriving off for this year, so it's all exciting. But I hope that episode motivated you as much as it motivated us.
Yeah.
I feel fired up. I can't wait to do our vision boards.
Yeah. What a great this is Friday. We're recording this on a Friday. So what great energy to go into the weekend with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should all go and do your vision boards as well, and we'll all just do them together.
Yeah. I remember when I did my first ever one, like properly, it took me about 3 days. So I went ham on it. Now I kind of know how to do them a bit quicker, and I don't actually cut things out and stick it on a board with glitter and glitter outlines.
Oh,
I remember how mental I used to make them.
What was cute is on my Snapchat memories, it came up 3 years ago. And it's a picture of
that was
you.
only 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, it feels like so long ago. It's a picture of Grace where she stood looking like the most proud little girl of her life with this vision board. And I remember it so well because you didn't just say, do you want to look at my vision board? You gave me a full presentation of this vision board and like went through each step, and I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I don't think I had made a vision board at that point, so it's like, I need to do this. What the hell is this? But yeah, this picture's just hilarious. She's like, maybe I should post it on the Instagram.
Yeah, maybe. I'm in my pajamas like a weirdo. Yeah, and do you know what? That is so weird because that was only 3 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
A lifetime.
I was in my corporate job. I was living in London. I was living with the girl that I didn't like. We didn't get on. I was in a toxic living environment. And yeah, I definitely wasn't as confident. I wasn't trusting myself. I wasn't as sure of myself. I was a completely different person. And it's just mad because 3 years doesn't sound like a very long time. And you think about, where am I going to be in the next 3 years? Okay, I'm going to be 29. What will I be like at 29? You think, oh, probably won't be much different. But you will, because for me, from 3 years 26 to 23 is a completely different person. Like I look at her and I'm like, I don't recognize you, as in I know who you are, but we aren't the same anymore. Like we're so different. It's a joke. Like as in we still love all the same things, you know, but as well, when you sent me that, I was like, oh, what's on that vision board? And I remembered, and I was like, those goals are fucking tiny. They're small. Because as soon as you start doing it a little bit as well, and you start to taste it and you see this fucking works, you're like, okay, let's go bigger, let's expand, let's try more, let's do this. And it's not about the hedonic treadmill of like more. It's about expanding your mind and your capacity for how much, you know, is in your potential. You know, like I don't even know what was on that. It was like little tiny things.
Anyway, we just can't stop talking today.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate you being here.
Yes. If you enjoyed this, put on your Instagram story, tag us at Finding Your Feet Podcast on Instagram. We're also on TikTok as well at Finding Your Feet Podcast on TikTok. All the links to like our social medias and our personal pages as well are in the show notes if you want to come and like hang out with us and see what we get up to. Because we don't always post like what we're doing in our lives on the podcast thing, 'cause it's like, oh, it's the podcast page. But so if you want to like get the insider scoop
on that, want to come with us,
our personal pages are linked below as well. But leave us a rating if you enjoyed this. Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Spotify, give us a little star rating. Thumbs up if you're watching on the YouTubes. You can watch all of our episodes on YouTube. We upload every single one to there, so you can watch them on our YouTube channel as well, which is also linked in the show notes. So make sure you subscribe to there, because sometimes it's quite nice to like watch a podcast. Yeah,
it's quite nice. And yeah, if you love this episode, then please could you send it to your friends, because that really helps with the growth of our podcast.
Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.